Yo, just tired of this shit. Ugh. Y'all, did you ever watch Boys in the Hood? Remember when Trey, he was tired of it and he started crying and Nia Long came and rubbed on him and everything? That's where I'm at right now. I'm tired, y'all. The Seahawks dropped a rough one today. 27-24 to the Vikings. Vikings go ahead and move to 13-2. Sure, the game was close, but was it? What do I mean by that? You cannot beat good teams like the Vikings and turn the ball over. 2 interceptions in that game is not going to cut it against a good team like Minnesota. Quiet as kept. Even though there was 2 interceptions, there should have been like 7. Now I'm being sarcastic, but let me be serious. There should have at least been about 4 or 5. Minnesota actually were dropping interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, we got a guy in the comments, PGZ206. He's saying Vikings should have had 5 interceptions. They just dropped 3 of them.
You saw it. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to talk about this loss, because there's 2 ways I could talk about this. I can talk about it in the glass half full kind of way, or I can really tell the truth on what I saw from my side of things. And I think I'm going to tell the truth, but I'm going to be careful with my delivery, if that makes sense. There was a lot about this game I did not like at all. I felt like the ball was felt like my man C-Raj said, it felt like juggling 2 chainsaws. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta take care of the ball. I also felt that why wouldn't the Seahawks try to run it as much? Let me give you an example, a specific example. When it was 3rd and 1, the Seahawks were midfield in the 3rd quarter, 3rd and 1. Geno drops back to pass and almost threw an interception. And then on 4th down, if you guys remember, no, it wasn't the 3rd quarter, it was 4th quarter. And on 4th down, remember, fake punt, Julian Love gets the 1st down. But why did it have to come to that? Do we not have the confidence to, on 3rd and 1, to get it done in that situation? Now, here's the thing when I'm saying, like, there's things that I don't like, and I'm not saying I'm the expert. But if it's 3rd and 1, if you're telling me, and this goes for Grubb, this goes for that team, this goes for everybody, you, me, everybody. If it's 3rd and 1, and you're saying, I don't know, G, I don't know if I trust our run game, and it's not even a play action or nothing, then what are we talking about? We are not talking about one of the top teams in the NFC. We are not talking about a team that's going to get to the playoffs. Does that make sense what I'm saying? 3rd and 1. In order to win in this league, you have to be able to run the ball. You have to have that type of mentality. Look at the best teams out there. The only team I count, you don't really count, is Kansas City. Kansas City's a little different. I don't know what it is. They got some magic beans across that team. But other than that, every other team that is doing well has a dominant run game. And so for us to concede on 3rd and 1 and be like, we're going to drop back to pass, and that was almost an interception. I don't know what's going on in the secondary. I have no idea. I don't know why Reek got benched to start the game. I don't know why Trey Brown was in there at that time. I don't know why Justin Jefferson decided to have a damn season high today with 144 yards. I don't know why Justin Jefferson was wide open a lot of times. I don't know why that last touchdown of Justin Jefferson makes my skin crawl. Did you see it? Did you see it was basically two defenders right there? Now I know some of the guys might look at this and, gee, you don't know the assignment. I'll tell you what I do know. Maybe I don't know the assignment, but I know this. I know Justin Jefferson was out there, and I got Reek here, I got Julian Love here, and he goes right over Reek's head. I know that's what I saw. I know Justin Jefferson is considered one of the best damn wide receivers in the world, and if there's two around him, I'm quite sure that something's going to get taken care of with that situation. What I am seeing is the light switch being turned off and on during a game, and that's what happened in this Vikings game. 1 minute, they're like, whoo, there they go. Geno Smith, 88-yard drive, 5 for 5. Boom, 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 boom. Score. Bam, look good. And then we just turn into this different team. False starts and all this stuff. I'm frustrated because I think that this team is a better than 8-7 team. Am I being ridiculous by saying that? Am I being ridiculous to say that I think that this Seahawks team is better than being 8-7? I think that this Seahawks team should be definitely ahead in the NFC West division. And by the way, an NFC West division with the Rams right now in first place with a 9-6 record. San Francisco 49ers, I know they got eliminated. I don't know if they lost yet. I don't have that in front of my face. But the San Francisco 49ers been cheeks all damn season. The Arizona Cardinals, they lost to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and the Niners are losing to the Miami Dolphins.
And the Niners losing to the Dolphins. Man, this division is up for the taking. And it feels like almost, right, a 2010 year when the Seahawks won the division with a 7-9 record. What I'm saying is it feels like usually a strong division. This ain't been a strong division this year, y'all. And this is why it was up for the taking, because I don't think it's going to get easier in this division. And I'm sick and tired of the damn Rams being on top. How? How are the Rams on top? Coaching? I should probably have taken a break and shouldn't have come right on. But this is just what I saw today, I don't feel comfortable with. And the reason, and I don't know why it is, but the reason why I don't feel comfortable today, the reason why I feel like there's a little extra emotion out of me today is because there were 2 interceptions thrown, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. The Minnesota Vikings, it was very possible for them to have 5 or 6 today. What is going on? Just to off and on, and just lose it at home. Let me get this straight. Yeah, there was 9 home games, 9 regular season games at home. Seahawks won 3. Went 3-6, y'all. What? Huh? 3-6? I'm not used to this. And I'm going to say it. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to only win 3 games at Lumen Field. It's unacceptable to only win 3 games in front of the 12s. This fan base? What are we talking about? Because the thing is, the reason why I'm talking like this right now, and like I said, I'm trying to be careful and a bit crafty with my delivery. And I'm trying to be that way because, as you all know, you guys know how much love and respect I have for this organization. You know what the Seahawks mean to me and how good this organization has been to me. And I'm never going to not be good to them either. I am loyal to the soil to this organization. However, it is no different than if one of your family members, your loved ones, you say, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. This ain't acceptable. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm doing. And I think even them, all of the hard work that they've put in, that's the thing. This is the National Football League. 1 minute you could win 4 games in a row, and the next minute you could drop 4 or 5. That's why the NFL is so great. Today, there were out of 11 games, there were 8 out of 11 games today that were within 1 point in the fourth quarter. That is the parity right now that you get in the NFL. Everything's close. What does that say? That says that everybody's good. I know sometimes you guys get, a little sideways and you call them bums and this person's no good. I'm going to tell you right now, every team's good. Every team has passionate fans. Every team has coaches that work hard. Every team has a few coaches that go in there and stay overnight. What? This is why the difference between good and great is like that. And that's why throwing those 2 interceptions like that, you can't beat a 13-2 team. You can't beat an NFC North team. NFC North team with the Lions, who won again, the Vikings, who won again, and we all know what the Green Bay Packers have been doing. Those are 3 teams in NFC North that are tough. And the Commanders, they went on ahead and beat the Eagles. They getting busy. So I don't want to get comfortable with this. I don't want to. Right? It has been good the last 14, 15 seasons. It has been something that we can all hang our hats on. But the Seahawks won 9 games last season. What? Did you have the expectation that they would win less than 9? Because I know I didn't. And I don't want to get comfortable getting used to that. Another thing, put it in the chat. Chat, I want to hear from you. I'm gonna check my phone and see what you guys got to say in a minute. But I got to get this off of my chest. Did they use Charbonnet enough? Did you see a lot with Charbonnet?
One touch, 1 carry.
The 1 carry.
I don't know if he still has injury designation maybe, but he had 1 carry. McIntosh had more touches.
And then, we got to find out what's up with K9, Kenneth Walker III. As you guys saw on that play, it looked, from my eye, it looked like ankle because he got bent back. So you saw him limp off the field. I just, something's not adding up. Our wide receiver situation, we got some great pass catchers. DK doing his thing, had his first touchdown since week 7. It was good to see him get in the end zone. Tough player, doing his thing. You guys know what I think about JSN, and you guys are seeing it right now.
I'd say one thing that's incredibly disappointing is how well we fit into the hierarchy of the NFL this year. Even when your team is not in the top tier of contenders, you want to be that disruptive team that can host a Green Bay or Minnesota, and then all of a sudden you beat them and you're one of these upset losses. What is our best win of the season? Because we lost to Detroit, we lost to Green Bay, we lost to Minnesota. We beat the Niners in their worst year. We took care of Arizona. They're out of the contention. Was it beating Atlanta when they were winning the division? We haven't been able to rise to the occasion and beat an elite team. And this is a league that you're talking about with parity. Any given Sunday, a Carolina can beat an elite team. A poor team can't beat a good team. We just saw the Raiders beat the Ravens this year. And yet for us, it feels like we are the worst good team in the league instead of the best bad team, because we can take care of the bad teams. For the most part, we still lost to the Giants. But when we face a team that's a little more elite, where there's a little more cohesion because Flores or O'Connell's scheme and system over a couple years in the making now, we just fall flat.
Yeah. Some put in the chat. Y'all help me understand. And so there's a lot of things about this game that I just don't like. Zach Charbonnet had 1 carry. 1. Miss something?
By the way, G, who leads the team in touchdowns beyond the quarterback?
Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet
leads the team in touchdowns
We had
as a
1
backup
carry.
running back.
Oh, you guys want to know? Kenny McIntosh had 3 carries. Kenny McIntosh had more carries than Zach Charbonnet. The Seahawks team ran for 59 yards. And I don't want to bore you to death. You know what I always say. Run the ball, stop the run. Run the ball, and you stop the run. But today, for some reason, Sam Darnold he has resurrected his career. Because, man, he was lights out. My man Justin Jefferson had 10 catches, 144 yards, 2 tug. Out there just single-handedly doing this thing. But I don't. These are questions that I wish that I could just really find out and know. Why does Zach Charbonnet have 1 carry? Why in that situation when it was 3rd and 1 did we not? Are we not able to run the ball? I guess I liked it when my man got in there, Byron Murphy II. They kind of used him as a little fullback type situation, a little kick out block right there. But 8-7, 8-7 with 2 more games now on the road. You go to the Bears, you go to the Rams. And Frank, I know you were doing some math because as you guys know, right now, the Seahawks are 8-7, right? The Rams are 9-6, right? The Rams have 2 more games left. And of course, their last game of the season is at home against the Seahawks. Now, right now, if I got this correct, the Seahawks within the division are 3-5. 3-2. And then the Rams are 3-1.
Yes, because the next 2 games for the Rams are divisional games, Arizona and then us.
Right.
Our last divisional game is the Rams Week 18. So we're 3-2. The Rams are 3-1. So then you go to the next level, because if we both end up 4-2 in the division, you have to look at common games. The Rams are 4-4 in common games, not including the division with Seattle. We're 3-4 because we have the Bears next week. So we could win that. Then we're 4-4 in common games, 4-4 in common games. So then you have to look at the conference play. Here, I'll try to explain this. We're 4-6 in conference games. Move that a little bit. And they're 5-5 in conference games. We each have 2 left. We have 2 more. So let's say we go 6-6. They go 6-6 in conference games. Then it comes down to schedule of victory and strength of victory. And I think that's where the Rams have us beat because they have wins over Buffalo and Minnesota, and we don't have those wins. And I do think that might make the difference.
That's why, I don't like this whole, well, what about just taking care of business? What about not being 3-6 at home? What about taking care of games like today? It's just a disappointing thing. Another stat that's out there, Seahawks right now, 0 touchdowns on opening drives, 19 games in a row. What's that about? Chat? What's that about?
I mean, we saw in this game where Minnesota came down, had a very nice drive, opening touchdown, and then we couldn't. And then we're starting at a deficit. And we usually are. I think 4 times this season we've scored on an opening drive. All of those are field goals.
Yeah. Anybody worried about Geno and his knee? Thought it looked good. There wasn't a time during that game that I thought, oh, his knee has him limited. So I thought he looked fine in that thing.
And one thing just about Geno, I like this comment from Leap that we got. I think that person nailed it where Geno's just not built to throw 30-plus times in a game for the whole season. I just think that's
whoever
right.
that is, you're right. It's not.
And we can give him the benefit of the doubt and we can defend him and give him excuses, the O-line in different situations, rookie coaching and all that. But he's just not built to do that. You can't win consistently, can't win double-digit games with him throwing the ball 30 to 35 times every single time. It's just not working. And you've been on it all year. You want us to run the ball more.
Hey, Chad, let me ask you this. Chad, can I get some grades from you? I want some grades from you. Ryan Grubb, OC, give me a grade. I want to know this and give a straight up assessment, straight up grade. No bias, no nothing. Know what you thought they was going to do, not what you think they're going to do. I want to know a flat out grade that you give Ryan Grubb this season, right now. I'll go ahead and start off with you, Frank, right now, or I can start.
I'll probably say that the first grade that jumps to mind, C-. It has to be less than average because
you took mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it just because I think we have the offense in the room, particularly when Charbonnet, our backup, is as skilled as he is. Ken Walker, the two elite receivers. I mean, JSN is having a season better than maybe you and I even thought he would have by year 2. We have these amazing tight ends that are displayed. We could talk about A.J. Barner down the line. And yet we're like 16th in scoring, 17th in scoring. We need to be top 12. We need to be flirting with top 10. That's the offense. That's the power. That's the potential.
What do we? What's missing with this team? What's missing? It feels like it's just a tad bit. Sure, consistency is one thing, but it feels like game to game. Like if you would have told me after what Charbonnet has done here recently that against the Vikings he would have 1 carry. Stop right there. How does Zach Charbonnet have 1 carry? Unless it comes out that he wasn't feeling good. Unless it comes out that he had a splinter or something in his finger. How? I mean, I haven't had a chance to watch the all 22 yet, but I will. But I just, if there's one question that I could ask Coach Mike McDonald, Coach Ryan Grubb, how? Why? And that's the part that it doesn't really make any sense. Now, I also see the targets. Like JSN is getting crazy targets. He had eight catches today. He had 8 catches today on 12 targets. DK had 3 catches today on 7 targets. And by the way, why don't we utilize? I love Noah Fant. Noah Fant looked good, six targets, 3 carries. So I need to go here, see what you guys have to say right now, because I haven't had a chance to look at what you all are saying. But I give Ryan Grubb a C- right now. I give right now what's happening, the Seahawks right now only being 8-7, I give that a C-. I'm sorry. I think this team is better than what we are seeing. Meebane tells us all the time, this ain't personnel. What? They got good players out there. You've seen them. You've seen what they can do. They've got good personnel. This isn't all about, we need to go to draft and, we need to go to free agencies. No. Take care of what's going on right here. The Seahawks team is good. The consistency part is what's not happening. That's the part that's just really got me puzzled. The whole run game, the whole Zach Charbonnet only having 1 carry. Okay, I won't say that no more. All right, I probably have said it 100 times, but I genuinely.
Do you think DK looks 100% though? Or do you think he's been battling an injury that he came back from? Maybe he needed more time off, because it does look like he's a little hampered right now.
I don't. I don't like to speak on injuries, right? Because I don't know. I don't know if he's 100%. I don't know if he's no NFL player, no football player right now this time of the season is 100%.
Not by week 16.
No. But I sometimes wonder. Now, DK's a big dude. I'm sure he plays through a lot. But I sometimes wonder, there was times during this game, I wondered if he's all right. DK takes big shots. Big shots. So I have no idea on that. But let me go to the chat and let me see what a lot of you guys are saying right now. Let's see here. All right, when I ask for the grades, they're coming in. C, Sheed says F minus, Leap says C plus, Jay Porter says D minus. Maybe looks like he's out of his league and his play calling doesn't complement the D. Pause. Thomas Cox, who cares? There are multiple. PI Minnesota, C minus, C. So yeah, Charles Lee just asked if the Rams win next week, are the Seahawks done? Yeah. Yeah, that put a nail in that coffin right there. And they have the Arizona Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, the Arizona Cardinals. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The Bears game next week. You know, the Bears that started out 4-2. Now they done lost 9 in a row or something like that. The Bears, 9 in a row. Them Bears. Why am I nervous of them? Oh, you wanna know why? Am I the only one that every time you see highlights of the Giants, every time you see them on TV, or do you say what I say? I say the same thing every time. How in the hell did the Seahawks lose to them? At the crib! At the crib!
I don't have this confirmed, but I think they're the team with the number 1 pick.
Who, the Giants?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are. No matter what happens, the Seahawks have to finish out strong. Does that make sense? So if they don't, God willing, they don't make the playoffs, okay. You know, it is what it is. You know, you live to fight another day, but there is no way you can finish out bad. And what I mean by bad is cannot lose on the road to the Bears and then lose on the road to the Rams. Cannot close out the season losing 4 games in a row. Can't close out the season losing 2 of those 4 at home. I felt like it was for the taking for the Seahawks. 3-6 at home. I want to talk about, here's a little random topic to talk about. And chat, I want to get you guys' opinion on this. Do you guys like it? Frank asked this. Do you guys like how the NFL is starting to dominate? You guys like how the NFL is like, I'm going to get you a game on Wednesday on Christmas. Oh, you want some Saturday games? Cool. It just seems like the NFL just said, F it, Irene. We playing whenever. Do y'all like this? Because I do. You want to know why I like it? Because these other leagues don't know how to get their shit together. That's right. These other leagues don't want to change nothing. These other leagues just think we're going to just keep doing the same thing. Meanwhile, the NFL is giving you 8 out of 11 games today being within 1 point, 1 score in the fourth quarter. That's the kind of parity that you're getting in the NFL. Give the people what they want. You want to know what they want? They want football. And right now, there is no better Ben football right now. Do you see the college football playoffs going on? They got the 12-team college playoffs. It's down to 8 teams right now. You got a whole bevy of games coming up in the next week and a half. You got NFL in the thick of it, in the heart of it. Give me more NFL. Now, am I being greedy, Frank? Am I being greedy, or are they giving us what they want?
Well, they're giving us what we want. I mean, it's amazing that to pull off the Wednesday Christmas games because they just won it on that holiday. And then they're like, well, we've never had a game on a Wednesday before. How are we going to do this? Well, we need to give them adequate rest. Let's have all the games on Saturday. Oh, wait, isn't the college football playoff starting Friday night into Saturday? And
Right.
it's just like, and wait, doesn't the NBA play on Christmas all day and they put the best teams for 5 games all day? And the NFL just goes, and?
Yeah.
Wait. Well, you can't have a game in these different countries at these different times or you can't have games in different times, but you can if you go certain miles away. That's why we can't have a Saturday game in Brazil because that's out of the U.S. jurisdiction. It's just the last couple of years. It's a monopoly.
Jaws, J-O-Z-Z, says the NBA might be throwing a flag. Man, the NBA, here's what, and this Frank really likes this topic on the NBA because I say this all the time about the NBA. First, I think the NBA is more talented than ever. It is never, like the NBA player has never been more talented than what it is right now. But the game itself is ass. Every single time I watch, I can't watch it. Look, y'all, in the 90s, when I was younger, I religiously watched games. I'll ask you guys a question. Now keep it all the way a buck. In the last year, how many I'm talking about tip-off, through the fourth quarter NBA games have you watched? I mean, I see the youngsters these days. They don't even watch the whole game. They watch highlights. You know what I mean? Get play-by-play. But watch an entire game? Man, I feel like I'm at LA Fitness watching them just chuck threes. Oh, you want me to answer that? 0. From tip all the way through, 0. Now, I don't want to stay on this NBA so long because my point is really to confirm, Frank, just where football is going. My point is, some of you guys are probably saying, hey, the NFL, they need a bit of a break. To which I say, I mean, as long as you don't have them too many 3 games in 11 days, give the people what they want. I want to watch NFL constantly. I want to watch college football constantly. Will that get messed up? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But as of right now, the way it's set up in the college football playoffs, college football brand is doing mighty, mighty strong.
How did Ohio State look?
What did you guys get to see? I don't know. I don't know if there's many Oregon Duck fans that's listening, but I do know that there's a lot of UW fans that's listening right now, right? And a lot of you UW fans, I think you're going to be rooting for the Buckeyes on New Year's Day at the Rose Bowl. You guys know the Oregon Ducks and UW Huskies, their rivalry and everything. But yeah, I think the people are getting what they want. They're getting a rematch of Oregon State the rematch with Oregon and the Ohio State. The Buckeyes against Tennessee look good. As you guys know, I was out there, and I'll tell you what I really think. Did the Buckeyes look great? Yeah, sure, no doubt. They look great. But y'all, it was 20, 25 degrees. During warm-ups, during warm-ups, Tennessee came out on the field and a lot of their linemen had their shirts off. Now, they had scullies on and hats and ski masks and all that kind of stuff, keeping their head warm, but they wanted to just take that off to kind of show everybody that they weren't cold. That was the dumbest thing in the world because I'm telling you, hey, put football to the side. Have you ever gotten cold where you've been outside, it got cold, and you're cold, chilled to the bone, and where there's nothing you can do to warm up except for time? You got to get from outside? I think that's what they did because, boy, did they play stiff. Boy, did they play cold. I think Tennessee had a very hard time playing in the shoe in Columbus in 20-something degree weather. Whoo! I mean, there was a time one of their wide receivers caught it, and he went to catch, and instead of cutting upfield, he goes to catch it, and I was like, oh! It must be hurt out there. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. You got 8 teams left. You got the Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl. It's going down. Who's some of your favorites out there? You guys got any favorite? Put it in the chat. You got the Georgia against Notre Dame. You got the Buckeyes against the Oregon Ducks. You got Boise State against Penn State. And you got Texas against Arizona State. So it'll be 4 teams standing after those games. So we'll see how it goes down. Oh, go ahead, Frank.
Well, one thing I want to ask you about, if you want to go back to the Seahawks and the NFL.
I do, because I was trying. Listen, y'all, I was trying to get off the topic. I did see as soon as I got off the topic, about 50 of y'all left the chat. So I won't let that happen again.
One thing was I was watching, we were watching Darnold, and he had a great game. He looked good, and I still believe that this secondary that we have is minimum above average, if not good or borderline great. Is there another Sam Darnold out there that you have your eye on where it's like that guy, if he gets another chance at this spot, it would work for this guy?
No.
Because that guy's 30 touchdowns now. He's having a great season.
You know what? I'm glad we're talking about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a perfect example of what we're talking about. You can't see it. And the reason why you can't see the talent, the reason why, Frank, I don't have a person out there that's like, oh, that quarterback is the next Sam Darnold, or that quarterback isn't being utilized here. They would be much better there. Here's the truth. A lot of these quarterbacks are good. Here's the truth. Some of these quarterbacks that you might think thinks terrible, they're in a bad system sometimes. Or sometimes the way that quarterback plays doesn't fit that system. It ain't no different. It's the same as relationships. Sometimes you break up with that one person, and you know the old saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. All of a sudden you broke up with that person, they go and get with somebody else, and that other somebody else is happy that you let them go. Well, that's where we are right now with Sam Darnold. And the crazy part is the Vikings didn't even, I felt like they didn't even know they had that in Sam Darnold. They drafted J.J. McCarthy. They just brought in Daniel Jones. So are they going to?
Or does it only work for one season before defenses and game tape and coaches catch up? Because Geno had this before, 2 years ago. He had a 30-touchdown campaign, came out of nowhere, and he had this great renaissance. And now we're seeing this Geno where, going back to Leap's comment about 30-plus throws a game, well, he only has 17 touchdowns against 15 picks. Like, that's not cutting it considering the volume of throwing we're doing as an offense. Mm-hmm. So does it, but then you think maybe Baker. Baker's the example of the other way, because now we're on year 2 of the Bucs. He commits a lot of turnovers, but he's doing a lot of heroics because that team has a lot of holes, and he's plugging them.
Yeah. It's a head scratcher. I got one for you, chat. Hold on. Before we wrap this up, Frank, let's all gather around. I got a conversation that we need to have. Now, I think 2 games ago, I think 3 games ago, I think y'all was ready. I want to know if you're ready now. Here is the scenario. Geno Smith and his agent call you. You're the GM. And they want an extension instead of going into next year. Do you give Geno Smith that extension? Yes or no? And why? Chat, I got to hear from you. Let's have a real conversation. Now, I know where most of you all were. 90% of you were a certain place 3 weeks ago, Frank. Frank, where you at on this conversation?
It's the worst conversation. I keep flip-flopping because I just the thing about Geno, it's so frustrating. There's things about Geno that he does at such an elite level. He has some of the most game-winning drives and comeback wins in the league. He doesn't get hurt. He we don't have to worry about him getting injured. But there's, you think like if we have a young team that's making mistakes the way they are now and a young coaching staff, it sucks that our quarterback, who's an old veteran who's been around the block, is still making those young, dumb mistakes. I mean, if you hear how the Seahawks are talked about nationally, they always say, well, you have to count in one bad Geno throw, one dumb Geno mistake. I hate hearing that on a national level, but that's how everyone looks at our team. It's like, well, if they can overcome that one mistake, and it's like, Matthew Stafford isn't making those mistakes, and that's where the Rams are still being consistent, even though they're a constantly rebuilding team with new talent on the offensive and defensive side. Kyron Williams, Puka. We've seen their defensive guys, Fisk, and the new guy they drafted, I forget his name. But they can afford the mistakes because Stafford keeps overcoming all of them, where Geno buys into it. I'm going to say no. Long answer, no.
Somebody in the chat just said they too emotional right now. Are we too emotional to have this conversation?
Probably. I feel very. This is the game before Christmas. I'm so pissed.
I think so. But for all of you, by the way, I'm getting more no's. I'm getting a no G. I'm getting a he's too old. I'm getting a no. Okay, if you guys want to say no, and this is for the people that in the chat are saying no to Geno getting an extension, what is your plan? What would be your plan? No, you got to be specific on this now.
That's the hardest part.
Because you know the saying, Cat, Stokes, you know the saying. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. So for all of you all that are saying no, is it no, G, go into the draft and go get a quarterback? Who? Who's the quarterback that you're saying, yep, that's him?
Also, we're in an era where you have to trade up and get them. We saw 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 12
no
picks.
Doubt.
You don't get a quarterback. Even a couple years ago when New England replaced Tom Brady with Mac Jones, they got Mac Jones at like 16. Even that doesn't happen anymore. You have to go up and get them, so you have to pay capital, and then it's a big risk.
That's what I'm saying. So, okay, or you're like, I want to go free agency. There's a quarterback out there. Who? And the reason, and by the way, for all of you all saying no and yes or no, I want you to know, hey, your opinion is your opinion. As a matter of fact, I mess up all the time on some of the things I think. So this ain't me looking down on anybody, but this is me being a little nervous and afraid that I don't want to be the Jets. I don't want to be the Bears. I don't want to be the Cleveland Browns. You get where I'm going? Up until Jaden Daniels, I don't want to be the Commanders. Because sometimes you can go on a long run without having a quarterback. And the Seahawks have been blessed, right? You go from Matt Hasselbeck to a little smidget with T-Jack, Tavares Jackson, may he rest in peace. But You go right to Russell, and you had Russell all those times, playing in every game, making every single practice. And then you bring in Geno, who Geno's been pretty good. So this is where, and emotions aside, this is where I get nervous. I get nervous to not have a quarterback. This is the National Football League, guys and gals.
And you mentioned getting a quarterback in free agency, but for every Sam Darnold that there is from Minnesota, look at Atlanta. in the contract they gave Kirk, and they already had to admit defeat. They're like, this isn't working. They're going to cut him. You know, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers doesn't work. Like, it is so hard to find that right quarterback.
It is so hard. Some of you guys said trade for Justin Fields. And you go, I'm a Buckeye. I love Justin Fields. Is he ever going to be the guy? Time's kind of running out on whether or not he's going to be the guy for somewhere. I really thought, man, you know, he can kind of shake and make things happen out there with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And then you have other situations with teams like, let's look at Miami. I saw someone mention Tua. Tua, top 5 draft pick. He was 5th. He's much younger than Geno because there's this thing where it's like, okay, we give Geno one more contract and then the off-ramp is there because then he'll be 37, 38, and
right.
End of his career will be there. But Tua's not even close to that. So are Miami fans stuck with Tua for the next decade? Next half decade?
Probably.
Like, can you win a Super Bowl with Tua?
No, you cannot. And Frank, with Geno, the thing is that I'm going to say this without the emotion, y'all. With Geno right now, I don't think that Geno himself, the quarterback, is the biggest problem that Geno has. I don't know how to spell that out for you anymore. Guys and gals, there's something about the inconsistency, game in and game out. I know offensive game plans change. I know personnel on the other teams change. But there's nothing that you can do to tell me why Zach Charbonnet has 1 carry. There's nothing you can do to tell me why on 3rd and 1 in the 4th quarter, you don't run it right there and you try to some drop back that almost gets intercepted. And then on 4th down, you run a fake punt. Julian Love, he luckily got in there. But when you did not, when you told us that on 3rd and 1 you couldn't go get that, then I was just like, okay. And you know what? Maybe there's limitations, Frank, to this team that we don't know about. And I'm sure everybody has limitations. But that just didn't make sense. So now here we are. It's time to play these next 2 games. But these next 2 games, I think, are sure. It's to make the playoffs. Sure, we need a little help. We need the Rams to go ahead and lose to the Cardinals. And then, of course, we need the Seahawks to go ahead and take care of the Rams. That'd be nice. But it's a little bit more, Frank, than the playoffs right now. How they finish these next 2 games, I think it's going to set a precedent for the next year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that 3-6 at home ain't good.
Yeah, and one thing to mention on that, because I do think I had an epiphany about this with Geno Smith, and I probably had this epiphany much too late. I should have hit me earlier. I do think we're having a different conversation about this quarterback at this stage of his career if he was given the Jared Goff schedule. Jared Goff, not only surrounded by Ben Johnson and this amazing Lions team where he has Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, all this talent. He also got to play indoors 14 times in a 17-game season. We don't get the weather craze that the East Coast does, Buffalo and the New Yorks and whatnot, but we play in tough weather, outdoors most of the season. There's a lot of rain, there's a lot of wind, and I do think that is something where if Geno was playing in Atlanta, in Detroit, something else, we're probably having a completely different conversation about him, but I do think there's a limitation with him playing outside.
Okay, and that's fair. Great stat right there, Frank. Talking about the 14 games that, of course, that Jared Goff got to play inside of a dome or inside a stadium. Well, whatever advantage that Jared Goff has, guess which one of us thought Jared Goff would go to Detroit and actually have this team being a juggernaut in the NFL? None of us. You didn't think it. I didn't think it. Experts didn't think it. You want to know why? Oh, you ready for it? Get ready for it. Get ready for it. You want to know why? Because we didn't meet Dan Campbell yet. Dan Campbell's a dog, bruh. Dan Campbell, here's the thing about Dan Campbell, and I know all y'all shaking y'all head. The thing about Dan Campbell, the way he does stuff just seems so intentional. The way Dan Campbell does stuff makes you want to just go run through a wall for him. I don't even know that man. Did you guys see the fake fumble they pulled today?
Oh my God.
They pulled a, when last time you seen a fake fumble, y'all? They played that. Jared Goff went down, faked like he dropped the ball. Running back goes, falls on the ground. They ran a fake fumble. They had Sam Laporta, touchdown, end zone. Sometimes he goes for it on 4th and 1. A lot of times people are like, oh, Dan Campbell, I don't know about him. He's a risky coach. But there's something about him. Here's my point where I'm going with this. I know it's always easy to talk like this player sucks and this player sucks and this player need to get rid of. A lot of these times it can be said about these players and then all of a sudden somebody else finds that person, shines them up a little bit and get them going. Sam Darnold, 13-2. Jared Goff, 13-2. If I would have told you in this camera right here, 4 years ago, Sam Darnold and Jared Goff will be 13-2. If I would have told you that the New York Giants would get rid of Saquon Barkley and he would go to the Eagles and be balling, you'd be like, no, the Giants wouldn't do that.
What do Sam Darnold and Jared Goff have in common in terms of their stadiums? They have roofs.
They have roofs. Yeah.
They both do. Not saying it's for everyone, but they do. One thing I want to mention before we get out of here too, because I'm seeing some comments about this, and it's basically, to summarize, it's do we rather be mediocre or bad? And I think this is a Seattle question just as much as it is a Pittsburgh question. So that's part of the Seattle culture. I had a conversation about this a couple days ago where we've been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 20 years with 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different coaches. Now we're on our 3rd. And this is just a team that just doesn't bottom out. So when we had that top 5 pick for Witherspoon, that was such a rare thing because we're a team that doesn't bottom out. Pittsburgh's the exact same way. They don't bottom out. Have they exited the first round of the playoffs most years in the last 10 years? Yes, they have because they haven't had the right quarterback since Big Ben hit a cliff. And that's where we are. And I think there's some people who are really frustrated with these losses in these games. And they're like, I'd just rather be bad and I'd rather be the Commanders and I'd rather bottom out, get a top pick, get our Jaden Daniels and go from there. But I also just don't think that's how the Seattle Seahawks are.
No.
It's not their culture.
No.
Just like Pittsburgh, it's not their culture. So we have to think of other things and other plans to upgrade the team. And it's really hard.
I'll answer that right now. I'd rather be mediocre than extremely bad. Right? You want to know why?
And we're talking bad. We're talking like Giants this year bad. Not like 7-9 bad.
No, man. Yeah. I'm dysfunctional. I like drama. You know those people that be like, oh, I don't want none of that drama. In football, give me drama. I need heartbreak. Because what I don't need, if you're not me, if you're extremely bad, if you're the Giants, if you're the Cleveland Browns, if you're if you're the Bears, now it's to the point I don't care. I don't want to get to that point, Frank.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to the point in football you don't care. Uh-oh. Y'all know me. Relationship analogy coming up. Here we go. What happens in those relationships when you like, I don't even care. You don't even care when they stay out all night. You don't even care that they ain't been home for 2 days. When you get to the point that you don't care, that ain't good for anybody. You at least want to care. And what I'm saying is right now, sure, things ain't perfect, but right now the Seahawks are 8-7. As of right now, I expected the Vikings to win. The Vikings to lose that game. I expected the Seahawks to beat the Vikings. I expected for the Seahawks to be better than 3-6 at home this year. So I need some drama. I need some heartbreak. I need to care. You start dropping and going 4-12 like somebody put in the chat, like they were Moore's years, and that continues going another season of, well, you can't do 4-12 anymore because they play more than 16 games, but you get my point. I can't have that. Cleveland Browns was picking first all the time. Detroit was picking first picks all the time. It didn't get right for Detroit until, of course, they brought in Dan Campbell.
And I think ultimately that's going to be our answer with Geno. If they choose to move on from Geno prematurely, then that is a risk that they're willing to bottom out, and that's not the Seahawks' identity.
No, we can't have that.
I got one thing before we get out of here.
What do you got?
Got a Pro Bowl update.
Got a Pro Bowl update.
Yeah.
Is he going to piss me off?
I don't think so. It's better than it was before.
Is JSN finally in there?
He's not.
Man, I don't even want to talk about this stuff. How is JSN not in there?
He's not in the top 10, unfortunately. He should be. There's a couple interesting names here where like Jaden Reed is 9th for the Packers.
Jay Reed?
Yeah. And it's like, well, for wide receivers, Jaden Reed for the Packers. And it's like, okay, I would have JSN higher. Currently, Leo Williams is 3rd for defensive tackles. Kobe Bryant is 10th for free safeties. Julian Love is 5th for strong safeties. And then for wide receivers, I'm just going to tell you this. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. I think JSN would be ahead of him. Zay Flowers, his draft class buddy. A.J. Brown, Jaden Reed, and Nico Collins are the 10 right now.
Yeah, well, they need to get JSN in there. Leap just put in the chat 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and G's relationship analogies.
It was good.
Hey, all right. Look, I mean, where do I go from here? See, this is what happens. I want to just tell you guys, when the Seahawks lose, Frank, do you guys think I'm going home to watch Sunday Night Football?
No.
I don't care about football. You think I'm going to watch Monday Night Football? No. It's getting to the point, I told y'all, I'm dysfunctional now. It's getting to the point that when the Seahawks lose and don't do well, I'm sick about it. And so that's all I'm going to fixate on, because I want to try to find, why is this happening? How many of you ladies out here that watch this stream and watch the reset, how many of you ladies out here always finding men out here that you're trying to fix? Huh? How many of you guys try to fix these men? Or you might have a friend that every time she get with somebody, she's always trying to fix them. And you just want to tell them you can't fix these folks. But that's be me on the Seahawks. That'd be me trying to fix things, knowing I can't fix nothing. Who am I? I'm just some yahoo on the streets. But I mean, my damnedest trying to fix this team. And sometimes I kind of hope, even though there are some things that leads me to believe that a couple coaches or two have seen the stream. I just want to put that out there. But at the same time, I just want to fix the team, man.
They need to be watching it, because Mebane is just
Mebane
spitting
be telling it.
He's spitting the truth.
But I want to go back on that topic, though. The same way I want to fix the team be the same way some of y'all want to fix some of these individuals that you're dating in your life, because you like the challenge. You like the drama. You like to feel needed. Sometimes they can be fixed. Sometimes they can't be fixed. Hey, Frank, has anybody ever tried to fix you?
Oh, no. No, actually, that's not true. There was one girl for that. It got a little weird in hindsight.
It got a little weird. She tried to fix you?
Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time. And then afterwards, I was like, that kind of explains a lot of the weird choices she was making. Well, we'll leave it at that.
Well, hey.
But they're always trying to fix the wardrobe. That's a given.
Ladies, or even fellas, can I give you a little secret? This is the truth. You ready for this? Here we go. Nobody will be fixed that doesn't want to be fixed. I have literally in my life never done anything because she didn't want me to. The only reason why I said, you know what, I need to stop that is because I wanted to. Most people fix themselves over time, not because what happens is you end up telling people you need to do this, you need to do that, and it just sounds like wah, 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 nagging. Don't listen to that. So that's my little note. My little note for today is this. Quit trying to fix folks. Don't be dysfunctional like G trying to fix the Seahawks, even though there's nothing I can do. Yeah. All right. I probably have too much fun, but doing this stream kind of gets my mind off things. I love coming on with Frank doing this, and I love talking to you guys, talking about this, just kind of getting these things off our chest. We'll find out from some of the press conferences. Of course, I'm going to talk to a few of the players. I'm going to kind of find out, hey, what's going on behind the scenes? What am I missing? What's going on offensively? What's going on defensively? A lot of these questions I'm going to ask, even though I can't fix nothing. So anyway, let's get on out of here. Brother Frank, have a good one.
Hey, you know what, G? And everyone else listening, have a great holiday.
Have a great holiday. Hey, it's Christmas, however you want to say Christmas, is coming up. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you got your shopping done. I hope that if you, okay, here we go. I was about to get out of here, but I got one more thing to say.
Go for it.
Y'all don't mind, do you? If you want to break up with them, don't do it now. Okay? Wait. That's not cool. You can't break up with nobody on the 22nd. You can't break up with nobody on the 21st. You're going to break up. Second week, you are on the hook until the second week in January now. And you still got to give them a gift. Okay? Do not break up with them right now.
You heard him.
Now,
the G says you got to wait till the doctor.
You got to wait. And some of y'all are just staying attached and hooked because it's cold outside and it's the wintertime. And I know some of y'all planning on the exit strategy right before Valentine's or after Valentine so you can be free in the spring and the summertime. Whatever you guys do, all I know is don't break up with nobody now. Frank, don't be breaking up with nobody right now. Okay? You're committed and everything. And don't be taking her to meet your mama if you know you're going to break up with them in January. Don't do that. Don't have them go to Christmas stuff. Don't be having you meet your uncles and all that. Okay, I'll admit, I'm pretty much crazy. But that's why you guys come and hang out with me, because I just say off the wall stuff from time to time. Hey, you guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great week. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Peace and love. Appreciate you rocking with me. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.